I have some other names I want to read right now, including the one who's sitting right in front of us. That's Greg McMichael, former Braves closer, relief pitcher, and now the man who's charged with putting together, I think, the coolest weekend of the year for the Braves with Alumni Weekend coming back. Greg, it's good to see you.
Appreciate you guys having me.
This is quite the undertaking. I've talked to you about this before. I've got a list of names, and we'll run through the events. For those who have not been involved in Alumni Weekend, I'm talking from a fan perspective, this is one of the coolest things for any Brave fan to get up close and personal with some of their favorite former Braves. But, like, how long of a process is this for you to put this all together?
Well, if you think about it, over the last 12 years, we've kind of been working on this little project that we call Alumni Weekend. I speak to all the other alumni groups around the country, and they wish they could do what we do. And I think it's the equity that we put into the relationships over the years that allow these guys to want to do it. And so I think they keep coming back. I mean, honestly, I have to turn some guys away just because – you only have a certain amount of budget to bring guys in from out of town. We are very fortunate. We do have over 65 guys in the Atlanta area. That makes a big
Who did you tell no to? Tell us. Who'd you say no to?
No.
Give us initials.
No, but we do have a lot of guys that want to go back and see. I mean, it's like a big locker room. I mean, you come back and pick up with conversations you've had years ago. But these guys very gracious to give up their time and to be able to come in and be a part of what we're doing here.
And as long as this has been going on, a guy who clearly couldn't come to the early ones because he was busy, Joe Torre. My gosh, what an ad. Because
for those who don't know, he's going in the Braves Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and he was a player and the manager when in '82 they win, I guess, the West at that point.
Right.
And a world champion 5 times, I think, and an MVP. I mean, the resume is there.
Yeah, as a player and as a manager. So Joe, obviously, probably well known for being a Yankee, but way before the Yankees, he was our player, and then he was our manager. And Joe couldn't be more gracious. So I'm a part of the Hall of Fame induction committee, and so as we talk about who's eligible and we talk about who actually gets in, I was real excited about him and Leo going in this year, and then to be a part of combining the World Series induction ceremony with Alumni Weekend. I thought was a perfect fit. We used to have them separate, and now we decided to combine them, and it just really makes the weekend even that more special.
It's a great weekend because it's different generations. It's almost like Braves University. Like all these guys who are alum come back and celebrate. Chuck and I are weird in this way because we're both from here, right? So I don't want to ignore like Avery coming back, and we all love Avery, and Wohlers, and we all Brian Jordan, and all these names. We sort of get a kick when I see that Chris Chambliss or Nick Asaski or Brett Butler, Matt Sinatro is coming back. Like, I love the crossing of the generations with this stuff. It's just, to me, it's great.
Well, I grew up, I'm a TBS kid. So I grew up, I was watching the Cubs during the day and I was watching the Braves at night. And these are the guys. My favorite is Rafael Ramirez.
Totally.
So bringing Rafael back from the Dominican Republic, I'm so excited to see him because that's who I grew up watching play shortstop. So, so those are great names. 82 means a lot.
Right. Give me Rafael and give me Glenn Hubbard. There's my double play combination as a kid. So I want to talk about the events because you guys have stuff. Friday night, it starts with the parade at the Battery, the softball game, which has turned into a big thing. I noticed you stopped asking the media to be a part of that. Chuck and I ruined that years ago. And then it all culminates with the Hall of Fame induction ceremony. So run through some of the high points.
Yeah, so Friday when all the guys show up, we'll start with our parade down Battery Avenue, which has been a huge hit with the fan base. I was in Cooperstown when Chipper went in, and our parade rivals the Cooperstown parade, which I love. And right after that, we'll do introductions on the field. Then Saturday, we'll do free autographs for all the fans around Truist Park. So we'll have all the guys set up at different stations. And then right after that, we go into, it's no longer a softball game. We do a home run derby.
That's right. Yeah.
So we have 2 teams. We have the young guys versus the old guys. So we'll see BJ and Frenchie. So we'll see what happens there.
Who's the old guy there?
So BJ.
I'm just, of course, listening. I want to make sure he understands he's not the young guy anymore.
That's right. That's right. And then right after that, we'll have the Hall of Fame induction on the field.
I love it.
I want to ask you a question because there is, you have to have structure to this thing, and because I think you and I are about the same age, and so growing up watching TCG at first, I guess, before it became TBS, Jerry Royster was a guy that I watched through really, really bad baseball into when they were good, and then he moved on. He'll be here. I could sit down as a fan. I could walk up, and I would want a half-hour sit-down with just me and Jerry. We're hanging out, and I'm catching up with him. You can't do that. They're going to provide the autographed cards. It's not like you can show up with a duffel bag full of mini Braves batting helmets and get 15 autographs from Jerry Royster or Dale Murphy or anybody else, right? So there's some structure to it.
Yeah, we do. And one thing I wanted to implement a couple years ago coming out of COVID is that I thought we can get more fans through the lines. Before, if you brought all your stuff, it was like you got to pick one line to be in. Yep. Now the guys are walking away, the fans are walking away with 4, 5, 6 autographs.
Oh, you kind of had to declare, I'm going to get these two guys.
Yeah, it just wasn't enough time, and we'd
yeah.
have 200 people in one line. But now we provide the baseball cards, and so they can go through maybe 4 different stations, which could be 15 to 20 guys. And so we've seen that we get to meet more fans that way. And so I kind of like it. We're doing that with Alumni Sundays as well. So, yes, we're providing a baseball card. And so you just come through, get to meet the guys. We'll sign a card for you, and then you get to go to another line.
So the interaction, the autographs, all that will be a part of it. I should mention, too, you guys are doing a live podcast recording of Behind the Braves on the Pavilion stage out here coming up Sunday. I know Leo's going to be a part of that, so tell people, too, what that's before the first pitch on
so
Sunday.
That'll be pregame. It'll be 11:30. We're only giving these guys a few minutes to do their induction speech. And, of course, if you know Leo like I did, he's like, 3 minutes? Are you kidding me?
You better have music ready like it's the Academy Awards.
I said, well, hey, I'll put you on the podcast. You'll be able to thank everybody, talk about all your stories, So he's going to do that on Sunday. We're trying to get Joe to do it as well.
Tickets are, if they're still available at Braves.com, people can be a part of all 3 games and the fun that's going to take place. Chuck, I'm looking at some numbers in front of me. Ready? This is McMichael, 1993.
Elam.
All right, here we go. 2.06 ERA, 40 games, 91 innings pitched, 19 saves, 89 strikeouts, 29 walks. That's some elite. And for those who don't remember, Greg,
like half a season.
Greg threw 98. Oh, wait, no, you didn't. Like, that was the most jarring thing, right? Like, everybody's like, this guy's throwing with this funky kind of delivery, which how many times did they try to change?
The slider change.
Because you had that hitch a little bit. How much did they try to change that?
The funny thing is when I was in the minor leagues, when I first got drafted by the Cleveland Indians, and I'm in rookie ball, and I'm throwing in, and of course, if you know anything about the minor leagues, all the pitching coaches they're like 75 and older. So these are guys that they've gone through, and now they just kind of settle in, and they're just kind of enjoying it. And so my pitching coach is watching me throw a bullpen, and then the guy from the Cardinals comes over, we were playing him. He comes in and he goes, "What the hell is that?"
Thanks. That helps my career trajectory here.
And my pitcher goes, "Hey, leave him alone. He's fine." And so, yes, I was a little funky, and I was different because I would throw 15 changeups in a row. One would go to the right, one would go to the left, one would go down. And so I was fortunate to make a career on something a little bit unique, but it worked well because after me, Wohlers came in throwing 100.
Right.
So it was pretty fun time. Then, of course, coming in after guys like Smoltz and Glavine and Avery and Maddox was a lot of fun too as well. But I loved our bullpen because we were different. We had different types of pieces, and I think that's what Alex has done really well too. Is that what makes a successful bullpen is you have unique pieces that you can move around.
Who was the nuttiest guy in your pen? Because there's always one that's.
I mean, Bedrock Steve Bedrosian was kind of my mentor. He and Jay Al, and he's a piece of work. Of course, former Cy Young Award winner. Yeah. But Bedrock was just unique, and
I'm surprised you took him before
teammate.
Howell because you spent a lot of time down there with some time to kill before you're ever in the game. Like, you got to figure out some way to entertain yourselves.
That's true. Well, my job my first year was to bring all the Coke and the peanuts and the candy bars, and we didn't have these air conditioned rooms. We were out there, we were watching the game. And there were times where I was the only one out there watching the game, because I was the rookie. But it's an interesting place. I tell people all the time, the bullpen, the biggest challenge is trying not to be distracted.
I'm sure. Smoltz joked that he came and decorated it. He brought those fake palm trees out there, and he had to do something to keep himself, because the starting pitcher, right, on his off day, he's not paying any attention if he doesn't have to. And then in the pen, he's always got to stay locked in. You don't know how that one's going to work. Alumni Weekend you guys do a phenomenal job with it. It's a great 3 days. People are going to be involved in it, starting with the parade on Friday night, culminating with the Hall of Fame induction of Leo Mazzoni and Joe Torre. And then Sunday, you can see the Behind the Braves podcast, all sorts of chances to get interviews and see autographs and see some of your favorite Braves throughout the years. Greg, it's a pleasure. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Good to
Looking
see you, my
forward to
friend.
it.